Hello guys, welcome to this video. So in this video we will look at how to integrate Prism.js, which is actually a syntax highlighting library for JavaScript. If you want to highlight your source code in different languages, in different themes, you use this. Let me show you an example. So if you have a source code that you want to highlight, we have this application right here. We have a text area. We'll simply copy paste the source code that we want to highlight. Then we will select the language here. You can have more languages here. Prism supports unlimited number of languages. So this is HTML code. So we will select the HTML language from drop down and click on the format code button, and you will actually see the code will be formatted with syntax highlighting, and you can just see it's a HTML code, and also it contains CSS code as well alongside with JavaScript code as well. So we have different themes out there. So you can, from the drop down, you can select various themes that Prism supports. So as you change the theme, you will see the highlighting will also change dynamically. So I will show you this complete example how to integrate prism.js inside your application. If you want to highlight or syntax highlight any sort of code inside your application, then Prism is a great application, a great library. And all the source code that I will use in this video is given in the description. So if you don't know about Prism.js is a syntax highlighting library. This is their GitHub official website. It's used by millions of websites which are used for syntax highlighting. If you have a coding blog, if you do any sort of coding, then it's a great library. So we'll show you how to use it right in the browser itself using a CDN. So let's start. So first of all, you need to make a index.js file, sorry, index.html file, and we will first of all, so this is actually the thing. So let me first of all make a simple template, Prism.js example in browser. So as I already told you, we will be using the CDN. So for including the CDN, we will actually be getting this from the internet. So stack path boots. So first of all, in order to build this, we are also using Bootstrap as well. So I will simply copy paste the CDN of Bootstrap as well. And then we are also using the Prism.js library, and it contains the style sheet. So we are simply copy pasting the min.css file. And similarly, we do need to include the JavaScript CDN as well. So after the body, you need to paste the JavaScript CDN, which prism.min.js. So this will actually allow us to use this syntax highlighting inside the browser. And now we will construct the interface. We will use the container class of Bootstrap. Inside this, we will have an heading, which will simply say that source code formatter. We will give it an class here. Margin from the y direction 4. And then we will have the form group class. We will have a label right here where we will allow the user to actually enter their source code that needs to be highlighted. And then we will have a simple text area where the user will enter their source code. So we will basically give it an ID here to it so that we can target in JavaScript, which is code input. We'll be giving a class here, bootstrap class of form control. And rows, I will give it as 10, and a placeholder simply telling the user enter your code here, like this. That's all. So if you just open this now, it will have this text area where the user will enter their source code, and then we need a simple button, and also we will have a drop down where the user will select their language, So here we will simply be telling the user you need to select your language, which code that you are submitting. So you will have a simple select list, and we will basically give it an ID here to this of language select, and we'll be giving a class here of bootstrap form control. We have different options right here. Uh, First option will be for JavaScript. You can include all the languages. So if you are doing it, so I'm just showing you the basic options which it supports. JavaScript, HTML, it supports all the languages. You can check the docs. In this way, you can include the options. All the major languages are supported, such as PHP, Java, everything. So now you can have these options. So it will have this drop down. Here you can select your language. And in the similar way, we will have another select list where we will allow the user to simply select their theme. So here the user will simply select which theme that they want to select. Select theme. So give it an ID here. Theme select. So here Prism supports various themes. The default theme is Prism. So default theme will be selected. Then we have the second theme, Prism Koi. So you can check out the Prism documentation to find out all the themes that Prism supports. So I will show you the basic ones. Prism Dark theme and Prism Funky theme and Prism Twilight. So these are different themes out there. Theme select drop down, and after that we will have a simple button which will simply say that format code. So once you click this button, you'll have BTN primary bootstrap class. We'll give it an ID here of format button. And now after this button, we will also be showing the formatted code below it. So you will have a H2 tag. You will simply say that this is your formatted code. We will be showing that output in the text area. Sorry, pre-tag. We will give it an ID here of formatted code. We'll give it a class here of language JavaScript. So it contains Prism contains various classes. One such class, if you want to highlight JavaScript code, then you write language followed by the language name. So here we are highlighting JavaScript code. So you need to give this class here. This is important if you want to highlight it using Prism.js. So after you do this, inside your pre-tag, you need to have the code tag. This is a code tag. Just initialize this code tag right here in order to highlight the code. So after this, we will now be writing the custom JavaScript code in a different file. So we will initialize script.js. So here we'll be writing the code. So first of all, we will target the button. So when we click that format code button, this event handler will trigger and this callback function will execute. And we will basically get all the text which the user has submitted in the code input field like this. We'll get the value, and also we will get the language that the user has selected, again using get element by ID. We're given an ID here, language select dot value. So after getting the language as well, now we can simply highlight the code using Prism. So we need to get the reference of that element in which we need to highlight. So formatted code. After getting the reference, you can simply use that element and give a class name dynamically to it. So the same class that I showed you, the language followed by the language which is selected by the user. It can be any language, JavaScript, PHP, any language. So Prism has predefined classes, language dash followed by the actual language. So here we are dynamically attaching this class, and then we have formatted code element query selector, and we will look for this element code that we initialized inside this pre-tag, and we will manipulate the text content which is to be code input. So if you make this change right here, by default language JavaScript is selected. If you write some JavaScript code, let's suppose I declare two variables, let y is equal to 1. This is JavaScript code. Click on that. You will actually see the code will not be highlighted because it is just showing this code as it is. It is not highlighting it. Now for highlighting this code, we do need to write a single line of code for highlighting the code using Prism. This line is important, which is we will initialize the Prism library, and it contains a function which is a highlight element, and here you need to pass your element formatted code element dot query selector code. So what does it will do? It will highlight this code by using Prism. So now if you declare your code, you write any JavaScript code, click on format code, you will see now it is being highlighted. Let's suppose now if I submit JavaScript code instead of HTML code, so let me submit this, change this to HTML. So now you can see my code is highlighting. I can change the theme, but it will not be working. For now, for the themes to work, we need to bind a onChange event handler. So when the user basically changes the theme from the drop down, we will bind a event handler to it. So theme select, we have given that ID to it. So we'll add an event listener. So when if the theme changes, this event will fire, and we will get the value of the theme selected by e.target.value, and then we will need to get the style sheet. Every theme has a particular style sheet attached to it, and now we need to get that style sheet theme. So we are given that theme an ID in the HTML. If you see, every theme, we are given this ID which is theme select. So we are just targeting this, select here, theme select. Okay, for this theme style sheet, if you see, whenever we paste it here, you can see we have given this ID here, theme style sheet. So whenever we pasted the CDN of the CSS part of that Prism.js library, you can see we have pasted the CSS, and we have given this element and ID here, theme style sheet. So we are just targeting this in the JavaScript. So inside this, we will manipulate the theme style sheet source parameter href. We will load that theme automatically using this CDN link, CDN.js Cloudflare .com/ajax/libs/prism, and every theme has a style sheet file attached to it. So it has themes slash, and here you will provide dynamically the theme name followed by min.css. That's all. So now as the user selects a particular theme, that style sheet will be fetched automatically using that JavaScript code. So let's suppose if I want to highlight the HTML code, I paste this code in the text area, then I select HTML, click on format. So now you can see the highlighting starts. If I change the theme, let me see what is the error. I think some typo mistake has happened. Let me copy paste this. So if I want to highlight the JavaScript code, I will paste it, click on format code, the highlighting starts. If I change the theme, you will see the themes will change right here. We have different themes, so you can see that. So if you see the alignment is not proper, this is due to the fact that we need to add a simple style sheet code here just to make sure that the code is aligning properly. You need to just write this a custom style sheet rule. You need to target the pre-tag and just change one property right here, which is overflow, and just make it auto. So it will make sure that the code that you submit is formatted properly. And now you can see that you can select any theme. So you can go to the official website here of Prism, and you can check out the full documentation, full example, full list of themes which it supports. It also has plugins as well, third-party plugins that you can integrate, such as the line numbers. You can also show line highlight specific lines that you want to highlight. So it's a pretty big library. It can't be covered in a single video, so I just want to show you uh, the basic concepts related to Prism in this video. So you can check out their official documentation, and do check out the freemediatools.com website, which contains thousands of free tools related to audio, video, and image. And please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next one.